Okay, continuing on, because I thought I would be able to get through all of it, and I got through pens mostly. So we have to continue on with the next part, which is highlighters. So obviously, you've already seen these, or should have, like the highlighters, but there's been a lot of things I've picked up for highlighting purposes over the last few years. Of course, I've picked up like whole packs of highlighters, like this one that you can use for highlighting different things. These ones, I believe, like once the set that this is from, I got on my mission, and it still works quite well. Worked quite well in some of those like sheen covered, whatever coated pages. But then you've got other highlighters, like from the Asian market. Again, that I picked up because I had to justify spending money on a fetish. And why you would use these somewhat is kind of interesting, but you can still use them. What's really nice about these highlighters is you can have a whole pack of them. Instead of carrying a full-length highlighter, you've got a small pack of them, multiple colors, that you can easily tote around in a side pocket in your pants. If you really want to, you'll probably find it quite a bit cheaper to get something that isn't Pokemon branded. But this is what was there. And it was picked up. Again, this one, like, you're basically looking for something this short that's a brand like this, a Pilot. And I don't know, I haven't seen too many of them. So then there are specialized highlighters. So, like, you've got your special Zebra Bible highlighter. And this one, again, when I picked up on my mission, kind of where I really started feeding the fetish of highlighters and pens and stuff. But what's cool about this one is it's got a double tip going on. I think this one has dried out quite a bit, which is a problem, which means I need to clear things out or wet things down. But you've got some of them that provide that fine highlighter so that you can underline things or circle things a little bit easier. And then you've got the one where you can like full on block highlight over text and stuff. And I've used them in varying different capacities to great effect. And some of them are built so that they won't bleed. But sometimes you get the ones that are a wax highlighter in essence, or a dry one, whereas these are wet, which is what most of them are going to be. You've got the dry ones, which are basically a colored pencil, and they won't dry out on you because they're already dried out, because they're made like that, but they have varying different results in how they work. So one thing that I've done before for highlighting purposes, and especially for certain sheets of paper that will bleed really easily on a wetter highlighter, like any of these, is to go with colored pencils. So this is one that I picked up on AliExpress a number of years ago, and I've used it off and on, so you can see which ones I use more heavily, like being the orange, where I'm highlighting key stick out things. But basically it turns into just kind of this whole line of highlighting things with colored pencil. And so you don't spending money on something like this, whereas it's nice, you basically get the same effect with a colored pencil. And so you end up just going through and it's like, okay, boom, 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 underline, 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 boom. And so you end up paying cheaper for a set of colored pencils. It's way cheaper for a set of colored pencils. And I've seen people grabbing Crayola Twistables, to use in place of them, probably because they're cheaper than going to find like the specialized Bible highlighter and sticking it in their pocket. They can tote this around, grab something out of here, or use all of them. They have more colors and all, and it's cheaper. And I found that to be quite the case. And even then, depending on what I'm reading, if I'm taking the book with me, I'll take a highlighter like this with me in my pocket, because what I tend to do, depending on the content, is I will have a book that I am reading through for the first time, and I'll pick a color to highlight with. And I'll highlight with just that color, things that stick out to me, and then like add notes with like a pen off on the side. And then from there, once I finish the book, it goes on the shelf for a little bit. And then when it comes back out again, it's like, okay, what color did I use the last time I read this? And then my second iteration uses a different color to highlight those different key points, because what invariably happens is certain books that I'm reading, I will have different things that stick out to me on the second reading, the third reading, or the fourth reading. And so I'll go through and highlight each of those. So I kind of halfway get a timeline or get a view of different things that stuck out to me at different readings. That is like, okay, that's interesting. Sometimes the same thing sticks out to me, so it's like, yeah. And then in some ways it'll eventually turn into like this whole cascaded rainbow of colors, because I've highlighted so much that I have to get a fresh new book. But I haven't quite hit that point with most of my books yet. Well, any of my books as of yet, so that is yet to be seen. But yeah, that's highlighters. I think that's pretty much all the highlighters that I have. Yeah, that's about it. Other than like the colored gel pens, which you can use for the same purpose, it's pretty much highlighters. Colored pencils make a really good option. I mean, yeah, they can be kind of scratchy, but they're cheaper than going with the highlighter, and they won't bleed. Yes, you risk tearing the pages depending on the fragility of your pages, but cheaper. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description, Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.